Good afternoon, everyone. This is Saro Arakelians, your clinical pharmacist. Welcome to another episode of Pharmacy Talk USA. So there was a question about colloids and crystalloids difference and use of albumin. So I want to give some pointers and feedback about the specifics about colloids and crystalloids, especially in the hospital pharmacy. So to begin with, starting law, as you may have heard of it, also known as the starting principle, describes the movement of fluids across the capillary walls. So this is important when it comes to moving the fluids between the in the body, especially through the capillary walls. This is mostly based on the balance of hydrostatic and oncotic pressures. So what is the oncotic pressure first? Oncotic pressure, also called the colloid osmotic pressure. It's the pressure exerted by the proteins in the blood that pulls fluid back into the capillaries. Oncotic pressure and hydrostatic pressures are two opposing forces that plays a crucial role in regulating the fluid movement within the body, particularly in the capillaries. So oncotic pressure pulls the fluids, and hydrostatic pressure pushes it out. So it's they're opposing. They have opposing effects. What does the hydrostatic pressure do? It pushes the fluids out of the capillaries, as I mentioned, while as oncotic pressure pulls it back in the capillaries. The delicate balance between maintaining the proper fluid distribution between the bloodstream and the surrounding tissues is done through this osmotic, oncotic, and hydrostatic pressures. Albumin also is a protein that attracts water due to its negatively charged molecules. Has a high concentration in the blood, and because of it cannot easily pass through the capillary walls. It creates pressure that draws water back into the capillaries. So it's a good colloid to be used if you intend to bring fluids into the capillaries. Albumin is generally a more potent plasma volume expander than lactated ringers solutions due to its higher oncotic pressure, which helps retain fluid within the blood vessels. While lactated ringers solution is used for crystalloid for fluid resuscitation, it tends to distribute more readily into the extra vascular space, limiting its effectiveness when it comes to plasma volume expanding. Obviously, albumin is way more expensive than lactated ringer solution. That's something to be considered for sure. But again, lactated ringers is good in fluid resuscitation. How about not as good as volume expander as colloids such as albumin? Crystalloids and colloids are intravenous fluids used to maintain and restore fluid balance in the body. Crystalloids are solutions containing small molecules like salts and sugar that readily pass through the cell membranes, while colloids are solutions with larger molecules that stay in the bloodstream longer. So again, this is a summary information about crystalloids and colloids, including albumin and the difference between the starting law, hydrostatic pressure, and oncotic pressures, and using albumin versus lactated ringer solutions. For more detailed information on these colloids and crystalloids, make sure to comment on the video with your questions, and I'll be happy to answer any more questions that you may have about colloids and crystalloids. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, stay safe and take your medications.